Overagers. So anytime that we go through a draft class, there's going to be guys who slip through the cracks once, maybe twice, and here's one here. And then that's where the debate starts. At what point, as a general manager, do you look at a player and say, all right, so he wasn't drafted last year, but we think he can be a guy that can play for us? And it's interesting because we'll look back years later and say, this player was never drafted. Why? This is how that happens. You get players who either they may not get a lot of eyeballs on them when it comes to scouts, or you may end up with players that scouts decide this guy won't make it because. And that's it. It might be size, it might be skating, it might be shot, whatever the reason is, and that's it. And so they pass through the draft, they become unrestricted free agents, they sign, and we look back and go, wow, that guy was never drafted. That's so weird. So at the same time, when a team drafts an overage player, you'll see people saying, well, that was just ridiculous. That guy, why are they taking an overager? So, it cuts both ways, where people will look and say, why would you take an overager? And then, why didn't that guy get drafted at all? So if they don't get drafted in year one, sometimes that's it. Now, in the case of Dmitri Rashevsky, Russian kid, probably not it. So, and for anybody wondering, I'm wearing the Ottawa Senators. And yeah, I've already got the brand new jersey. How did I already have that? So, I know the jersey's going to be different. It looks like, from the leaks I've seen, it's not going to have the white stripe. So, yeah, it's just going to be red and black. Overager, Dmitri Rashevsky, and I have to start with that because that's what people will say. It's like the Johansson one, where they're like, hey, Johansson, he's an overager. Okay. Doesn't make them a less decent player. How many guys have passed through waivers at the National Hockey League level that we look back later and go, wow, seriously, that guy got through waivers? He's a pretty good player. Right. So he's 6'1", 165 pounds. He's listed as a right wing on Elite Prospects. And Hockey Prospects got him listed as a left winger. So I put right winger up there, but I guess he can play the left side, the right side. He's a winger. So we'll just go with winger. His strengths, no relation to Kip Winger. His strengths, teamwork, shooting, playmaking. And I came up with those as the three based on scouting reports because there's very little information on this player at this point. And when you look at how he's rated, he's number 34 on the Hockey Prospect list. Yes, 34. And number 61 on Elite Prospects. That's it. Doesn't show up on Bob McKenzie's list. Doesn't show up on the scouting lists for the NHL Central scouting. And that's what happens. You get these guys who are in their draft year, they don't make it, and that's it. And then they just sort of fall right off the radar. He's a late blooming sniper. Competitive, very creative player. And you look at his numbers, 2018-2019, playing for St. Petersburg in the MHL, which is the KHL juniors. 24 games, 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. Last year really, really came out and showed the scouts what he could do. In 61 games, 44 goals, 30 assists, 74 points. So far this season, as I'm recording this, he's played 3 games for St. Petersburg, and he's got 2 goals in the MHL. So the scoring is there. The goal scoring is there. Somebody's going to take a shot, and I figured if I'm going to wear a jersey of a team, I'm going to wear a jersey of a team that's got a lot of draft picks. So I was like, well, it's either Montreal or Ottawa. So I went with Ottawa, because why not? And again, when you've got a lot of draft picks, then you can look and go, okay, so we'll take a shot at this overager kid, and who knows, we might hit it out of the park. And you just might. Now, skating is the drawback, as well as strength. So being 165 pounds and not being the best skater, that's where scouts are going to say, all right, no. Yeah, he can shoot the puck, but can he skate on North American ice? Nope, we're going to shut this down. And interestingly enough, Hockey Prospect does not feel like that's going to be enough to stop him from making the NHL. They say, you know what, with the right coaching, yep, he can get that together. And we don't think that it's going to keep him out of the league because he's so smart with the puck. He's a very intelligent player, which makes up for some of the speed issues. And his shot is that good. So he's a player, these are the scouting reports, a player that has come out of nowhere and could be a top 2 round player. So this is probably late second, maybe early third. I looked, there's 58 draft picks on this playlist. So if you haven't gone through and looked at them, there's a lot of guys in there. And again, it's because this draft is supposed to be really deep, and I'm utilizing my memberships with both Elite Prospects and with Hockey Prospect. And depending on how this draft turns out and everything else, I'm likely going to do it again next year. One of the top 10 shots in the draft. And this was said by Brad Allen, who, of course, was on the phone with us during the draft last year. And Brad also basically says, remember, this is a deep draft. So if he's got a top 10 shot in this draft, and this is considered to be kind of a special draft, it's a pretty good shot. Some GM somewhere is going to look and say, yeah, he's 165 pounds at 6'1", but man, that shot. So sort of like not quite Happy Gilmore, not quite, but my God, what a shot. You guys remember that Happy Gilmore, when he breaks the glass? Is that goal regulation size or what? Well, this kid can hit the net. So don't worry about him breaking glass as much as, he has the shot accuracy that Happy Gilmore didn't. And I'm thinking the skating might be a little bit stronger than Happy's as well. But yeah, skating and age are big factors when trying to rank him. So this is where the overager argument makes some sense. And so you'll see guys, the year after they're draft eligible, they go out and put up big points. And that's when the detractors will say, well, of course he did. He's a year older than the other guys. He's had an extra year to develop. So you're still better off going with the 19-year-old who may not be putting up the big numbers than the 20-year-old, or 18 over 19, 17 over 18, because they've got that extra time to develop. So the naysayers will say, that 44-goal season, great. That's after his draft eligibility. And yet there are going to be scouts who say, yeah, but he's got a really good shot. So when you're trying to figure this out, until he's playing against men, there's going to be some guesswork involved. My guess is late second, early third, but this is one of those players where years later we could look back and say, that was a pretty smart pick. Why did he fall? And if he falls, it's because skating's a drawback. And when teams are up, they're going to say, we'd love this player if he was a year younger. We'd love this player for his first year of eligibility. It's his third. We would love this player if he was stronger. And so he ends up dropping further down in the draft. But conversely, there may be a general manager in the late second round who says, this guy's going to prove other scouts and GMs wrong. Glad we picked him. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support, and we'll talk to you again soon.